Let's jam. Bravo, gamers. Bravo. Gamers of all genders, races, etc., etc. We finally did it. You finally stood up for something you believed in. You came together as a community, and you overcame the big obstacle known as the X-Bone, which is no longer the big boner in everybody's pants that we all thought we would have to just kick away. Now, feel free to show the boner.
What?
Oh, yeah, by the way,
I like where this is going.
You always like where this is going when boners are involved. Anyway, we have two special guests today. Guest A.
Ice God 64.
Guest B.
Cardis.
And with that said, they're both familiar voices that you've all been accustomed to. But as I was saying, Microsoft has stepped down from their always online requirements, whether it pertains to the 24-hour check-in, the whole thing about games potentially having a crap ton of DRM. And, there were many victories gained from Microsoft stepping down from this, and the Xbox One could potentially look like a threat again. So Microsoft, I can now shake your hand, not really, but I can at least say welcome back to somewhat of the fold. But there still are some gripes with your console. Cardis, would you mind shaking out the finer points?
Well, probably one of the biggest problems we still have is the price in mandatory Connect. I mean, they could very well take out mandatory Connect, make a new SKU, $3.99, no Connect, direct competitor to the PS4.
And at that point, your only battle is literally the exclusives.
Which Microsoft, they definitely have the money to go secure some exclusives. I mean, they have the big one. They have Halo. They got Dead Rising 3. What else they snag? I know there was at least a couple more.
But they do have Sunset Overdrive, which was developed by a studio that I think was mainly on Sony's back for a while.
They have Forza as well.
But there was one thing that apparently a lot of people thought was a huge positive, that was a huge benefit, and now it is not there with the Xbox One's new architecture.
Yeah, pretty much the big casualty here is the game sharing, where you get to share to up to 10 of your quote-unquote family, whether they live in the same house or in the same neighborhood or across the country.
And with that said, that would have been one of the actually good features of the original Xbox One design plan. Although definitely outshadowed by its many faults, this was actually something that would have been nice to have. But since it's gone, it could have been removed for sour grapes. But, since the disc is now needed in the new architecture, I have to ask myself two questions. A, so this whole Xbox One architecture thing you've been hyping up about how it needs to be this way and how it needs to function. Yeah, so that was a giant load of crap that you just tried to shove in our faces. And you got caught on it. Congrats. Exposed. Will not be playing the Exposure Train song at any point in this video, so don't even get hype about that.
Do it now.
No. But in other news, Microsoft, you still messed up. And this is quite a big mess up, you see. When you go to a little image site, I don't know. Any image sites you know of?
Imager? Or Imgur, as some people pronounce it?
Any search engines of any particular interest?
Google. Bing.
Bing.
If you want to be related, though they probably already monitor that since they have the ability to.
Okay, so when you type in the VOX1 is, you get corrections, autocorrects on Google talking about the Xbox One is terrible, ugly, and a joke, right? So when you go to Bing, you would expect, something to be well searched, right? Well, when you type in the Xbox One is on Bing, you get simply put, the Xbox One is amazing, and that is the only one you get. The only autocomplete. Very strange, wouldn't you say?
Well, maybe we could take it as, if you're using Bing, you obviously like Microsoft because who the heck uses Bing? So maybe everyone's typing Xbox One is amazing because that's where they get the results from. It's what you type in, they monitor, they log it, they aggregate it, and that's what shows up.
So you're saying they're sheep?
So I figured I might be able to alter the outcome of that if I just typed in the Xbox One is gay on Bing. Nobody do that.
Just saying, we want to start a movement, but how many of us even care enough to even acknowledge Bing as a search engine?
Yeah, they have such a minuscule pie of the search engine share.
But with that said, more pressing news. Microsoft, what are you doing? Microsoft, what are you doing? It seems as though you got caught snooping around in private matters again. And this brings me to my original point about the Kinect. Yes, it had the possibility of spying on you. We know this. Possibility. Doesn't mean it was going to happen. However, if you are running Skype on your computer right now, any link that you send, Microsoft knows about. They may not know about it specifically, but couple security checks here show Microsoft's been logging some calls, logging some information that you may be typing. So if you're typing any sensitive information that pertains to actual real-life phenomenon, you might want to hold back on that just a little bit, because you can see here Microsoft has been coming in. Operators may have to set up some firewalls, maybe go into your access control provisions and, filter traffic. Because Microsoft will be popping in and out as they please, with no sort of warrant, no sort of reason, no sort of innocent till guilty coming to mind, more guilty as it pertains to innocent. And the other part that I think is kind of funny here is, you do realize they can intercept your messages at any point in time. Like, as you send them, maybe a couple hours later, or sometimes just cutting them off as you send them.
Yeah, I believe now the thing is actually goes through a Microsoft server as you send them. Before Skype was fully peer-to-peer, it just ran from people's networks that are running Skype. But now everything seems to be filtered through Microsoft.
And in some cases, people will not think that matters, but I want you to think about something. If this is happening on Skype on a global scale, you will not sit there, because I will not tolerate you sitting there, and you sitting there to tell me that the Kinect, in some way, shape, or form, would not be sending, in some cases, sensitive information back to Microsoft HQ. You would have got to be kidding me at that point.
Because it's in your living room, it's in your bedroom, and it's always on. There's no shutter thing, so it's not watching you. The microphone's always activated because it's always in standby.
And you can always sit there and say that, oh, but they have filter and privacy settings. So does Skype, but as you can clearly see,
that's not really that doesn't mean much.
So yeah, they also can get any link. Like, links are pretty much guaranteed to have been sent through Microsoft. So all the videos you may have sent through another Skype friend about the Xbox One, things you may have been having discussions about the Xbox One, they obviously are going to have filters for whatever they need to see. So there is no doubt that I won't say all, the vast majority of things pertaining to Xbox One talk and lingo within these Skype calls that go on, there's probably about, millions upon millions of calls a day?
More than that, possibly.
Maybe billions of calls a day, but the point is, as we know, Microsoft, anything you've said about the Xbox One, more than likely has been documented and taken into concern, which obviously goes to show, yes, we have a voice, but do you really want to be secretly listened on by Microsoft?
Advertising makes money, and they can also be selling this information to other people. Like, say, hey, bro, you know that movie you made? We have all the information. We know what they're talking about, what they're saying, what they're doing.
It's like
literally selling that information.
It's literally like they're sitting next to you, just stroking that evil white cat in that gigantic leather chair, not even facing you. Just good.
I'll get you next time, Gadget.
I hate you, but exactly.
I think they already got us in this case.
This is true. So I just figured, this is some technical details that should be shared. The Skype's protocol security is able to be compromised by the vendor by meaning of, decrypting chat messages at the Skype servers operated by the vendor, which would be Microsoft. This has been discovered since the vendor probes websites linked in said chat messages. So what does that mean? Let's say I link to 4chan, right? Microsoft knows what I'm linking to you. They just know.
Yeah, they have a robot that will go through, click the link.
And if I have something that is inflammatory remarks towards the Xbox One, they can take that information. They may not say they will, but the potential of them taking the information, seeing what people say, it's there. And you're saying, well, there's no way they'd be able to filter through everything. That's what searching is for. That's why they can take other parts of the conversation and analyze where this is going to.
Yeah, that's why they could put search for Xbox One, and everything pertaining to the Xbox One could potentially pop up okay, here it is.
And it would be stored in a database, and people would be able to access it and know exactly what needs to be said, addressed, and what the counters would be to it. And
I guess it's kind of like with Google and Gmail. Technically, a robot, goes through all your emails, reads what you're saying, reads what people are saying to you, and they cater ads depending on that.
And the funny thing is about this is, ads, okay, you click on a video. That's a little bit different. They're trying to cater to you. This is just underhanded, not telling the consumer, we're listening and we gotcha.
Actually, going back to the Gmail thing, like Microsoft made this whole big advertise campaign saying, "Prince, okay, yeah, look what Google does. They read all your emails. We don't." But then they go do this thing on their other service, which is probably like more used than Gmail in a way.
I am not going to pretend that I like the fact that any internet service, especially emails and sensitive things like that, are seeing what we are sent and what we are sending, because that is an invasion of personal information, and while it may most likely not be used against me, I don't like the fact that the information is out there available to anyone besides me and the recipient of whatever email.
And that was a thing that wasn't much of a problem back when Skype was P2P.
Well, back then it would have
the
been
company.
impossible unless somebody was directly intercepting you.
Which is the case here. As you can see right here on the screen, the log of being probed. So, we're kind of running in a circle here, but we just figured this information was sensitive enough that it needed to be pushed out there. Maybe something you already knew, maybe something that you already assumed, but at the same time, for those of you who were not informed, now you are. So, any final things you want to put up in the wrap-up? Because I think we covered everything.
I think that what they're doing is not secure enough, and they need to come install cameras in everybody's house, in every single room of their house.
Ice God, you fool! You fool! They tried that already! It was the Xbox One!
Oh yeah, you're right. And that worked out great.
And, yeah, we're out.
Big Brother's watching you.